everyone, welcome to this week's video. This is actually not going to be a cleaning video. This is going to be strictly packing. Over the next 2 days, like day and a half, I'm going to be doing a lot of packing of the stuff around our house that we really don't use. So like a lot of decorations and stuff like that. You see I've already done the dining room back there, and I'm in my living room here. I got to pack all of this stuff behind us because we really don't need it. It's just decoration. So I'm going to get all of that packed up, and then this way we can use this whole area as a staging area as we pack up the other rooms of the house. We have our first pod being delivered on Monday, a week from today. So I want to try to get as much stuff packed up as I can to put into that pod. That first pod is mostly stuff that we just really don't use on a day-to-day basis. So I want to get as much of that packed up as possible. We worked on the basement last night with all my my husband's Halloween stuff. That's all ready to go almost. And the attic has been sorted through about halfway. I'm gonna finish sorting through the other half. I don't know if you're gonna show that on this video because it's not really nice looking up in the attic, but I'll show you packing up this room. Then the next goal is gonna be the guest room closet, because that's like a lot of my craft and hobby stuff. And then after that, tomorrow, hopefully I'm gonna get around to taking down all of our artwork throughout the house. All of our pictures and decorative items and things like that. We're gonna get the stuff off the walls and start patching all of those holes so that we can go ahead and touch up, paint them, and we don't have to wait till the last minute to do that. So I think you're gonna see all of that in this video. If you are watching this because you are getting ready to pack for a big move for yourself, I encourage you to throw this up on your phone or your device and your TV and pick at least one room or one closet or something that you have been procrastinating on to pack. Throw this up, pack along with me, start with that first step, and then you take that first step, which will lead to the next step and the next step and the next step. So I encourage you to pick one spot or one closet and go ahead and pack along with me. Thank you so much for bearing with me for that super long intro. I kind of rambled a little bit. I edited a lot out and it was still kind of long, so I apologize for that. This is a little bit of a longer video, but I hope you find this motivating. I'm gonna try to keep the talking to a minimum and just point out certain things as we go. This trunk that you see me unpacking here is actually very old. I'm starting with this because this is going to be going in the first pod. It's going to be going into our new house, but it's great for storage, but because it's old, it's very delicate. So what I'm actually going to be doing, you're going to see here in these garbage bags are pillows. So I'm utilizing this space for storage to, maximize the space in the pods, but I don't want to put anything heavy in there. So I'm just going to use it for pillows and really light items.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know if
So here I actually had to order more labels. I just ordered all my labels for heavy storage, labeling, everything on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description box below to the labels that we use, but I realized when I started this process that I'm already running out of storage labels. So that was me just ordering some more on Amazon Prime for next day delivery so that I can keep up with the packing process.
Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground.
I've mentioned this in previous videos, but in case you didn't watch any of my other packing videos yet, we are moving into a rental and we don't have as much space in the rental house as we have here. So a lot of the items are going to be going into what I'm considering long-term storage. We're going to be going to a storage unit down there. So you're going to see I'm going to be marking a lot of these boxes as storage. because we're not actually going to be unpacking them down there until we get into our forever house. So I need to be extremely mindful as I'm packing and careful about packing things for storage versus what we're going to want direct access to in the rental house down there. It's making the packing process go a little bit slower than it normally would, which is why I'm trying to get as much done as possible as early as possible.
Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down.
You'll see my little dogs, Lily and Brooke, make various appearances throughout this video. They actually just came from the groomer, so they are looking so fresh and clean.
Among the flowers, we just let the days pass by. People would tell us to get a grip of ourselves and get a job. We didn't care what we were told, 'cause
if you have never moved before, or if it's been a really long time since you've moved, one of the tips that I am going to give you, and I give to a lot of my real estate clients too, is anything that's heavy, like books especially, make sure that you're packing those heavy items in smaller boxes. It will make everything easier for you if you're moving yourself. It'll also make it easier for the movers as well. Nobody wants a huge box of nothing but heavy items. You really just can't move that, and it's not great. So books and heavier items, you definitely want to pack them in the small boxes. I would much rather have a lot more smaller boxes that are heavier than less larger boxes that are heavier, if that makes sense.
just to scare them, we were free when we were 17. When we got older, we tried to stay.
And I tried to pack these bookshelves with some logic to it, so you'll see that I packed all the books first, tried to get that out of the way because most of that was going into storage, and then I moved on to more of the breakable decorative items because then I am being a little bit more selective in what I do want to have out and available for the rental versus going into long term. This way I could sort of pack everything by category into the boxes.
Like we used to do. I wish I could turn back time. Stay up all night singing songs on the terrace. We didn't mind sitting out in the cold. It wasn't possible to make us embarrassed. We were free. Do you remember stealing smokes from your parents? Sometimes we got a bit out of control. When they found out we ran from home just to scare them, we were free. When we were 17. When we were 17. When we were younger, we used to sit on the grass and go, damn, I don't wanna grow old.
Now, as mentioned, we are moving to Georgia and we are using pods to move most of our items, actually all of our items. So I am taking extra special care when I'm wrapping these items. I'm using probably a little bit more bubble wrap and wrapping paper than I probably normally would. If this was more of a local move, I probably wouldn't be so crazy about wrapping everything up so specifically, but because I'm not gonna have a whole lot of control on, moving these items, and I'm not gonna have eyes on them, they're not gonna be in a truck, I'm not moving them myself, I really just want to minimize the amount of stuff that breaks. I mean, let's face it, anytime you move, something inevitably breaks, especially when you're moving a long distance, but I really wanna try to minimize what actually gets broken. And because a lot of this stuff, like I said, is going into storage, I may not actually know that something is broken until I open it up a year or two later when we actually buy a house. So this is a vintage typewriter that I actually bought for my husband as a gift a couple years ago. He had talked about how he always wanted one, and I found one on Craigslist, so I bought it for him. So I had to bring in a little bit of reinforcements because I had no idea how the heck we were gonna wrap this thing. It's so heavy and clunky and odd. So my husband, Adam, had to come in and help me figure out how the heck we were gonna wrap this thing. You'll notice too throughout this packing video and any of the other packing videos that I release that you'll see that I'm using mostly store-bought boxes from Lowe's and Home Depot and local hardware stores. You certainly can get free or used boxes. My husband and I moved a lot over the years, and we certainly have used found and free boxes that we have gotten either, back at dumpsters, behind stores, storefronts. I've approached stores directly and gotten boxes from them. You can also get used or gently used boxes on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist, and I've done that too after our last move. I had gotten a lot of the boxes on Craigslist, and then I went back up on Craigslist and gave them back away to somebody else. So you certainly can do that too. You don't actually have to go out and spend a ton of money on moving boxes when you're doing the move. The reason I chose to purchase most of the boxes we're going to use is number one, for convenience. I go right to the store, I can get them the same day, I can get as many as I need, but also because we're using pods, like I said, to move everything, and we need to really be extremely smart with our space utilization. I wanted to try to use as many boxes as I could that were the exact same size so we could maximize the space on the pods. So I found that just by purchasing boxes that were all the same size from the local hardware store, I could know exactly how many high and how many across I could fit in the pod. So I just found that for us, it was going to work out better if I just purchased them, because I knew exactly how many boxes I could fit, and I knew that they would fit perfectly together like a puzzle inside the pod, as opposed to finding, used and found boxes from various stores. They're probably all different sizes. It would be more like a Tetris inside the pod, and not everything might fit perfectly, and I just didn't want that kind of a headache. So that's why you're gonna see more store-bought boxes versus found and reused boxes. But you'll see at the end, we do also recycle boxes as well. Okay, just an update. This is everything I have packed up from the living room so far. It's actually not as many boxes as I thought. There's quite a few small ones down there that are very heavy, so I'm waiting for my stickers that say heavy so I can tag them. These are some boxes that are not quite full, but based on the categories, I'm not really sure what else to put in there. I don't want to commingle things too much because it'll make unpacking kind of a mess, but I want to utilize space. So I'm kind of leaving them for now, and I'm going to see if I can, throughout the next couple of days when I'm packing, put stuff in there that makes sense, and that way I can fill them and close them. The rest of my living room is a disaster. This is like all my packing materials. These are some more open boxes. Same thing, I got to pack them. These are all boxes from deliveries that we've gotten that we're saving just in case it makes sense to pack something in them. I've got my pile of donation items there. So didn't make it as far as I had hoped today, but still pretty good progress. I'm gonna work on packing up the guest room tomorrow and then taking down some of the wall decor and start patching those holes. So stay tuned. So here we are on day 2 of my big 2-day packing video. I actually forgot that we pulled all of this out of our basement crawl space because we needed to sort through it. This was basically all of my fall and Halloween decorations that I usually use inside the house, and because we're packing and moving, of course I didn't decorate this year. So what I realized though is a lot of it was just kind of loose in the crawl space. So I forgot that I'm actually going to sort through this first because I have laundry to do, and unfortunately this is blocking my for my dog, blocking my washer and dryer. So I'm going to sort through all of this and get this packed and labeled and upstairs and out of the way so that I can do laundry. And then I'm going to go back upstairs and resume packing of the living room and the guest room and everything else that I originally had on my agenda. So here is the closet for the guest room. This is where I've pretty much shoved all of my craft, sewing, hobby, DIY, everything. So there's actually probably more stuff in here than what it looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead and tackle this and get this all packed up because I don't really need access to any of this stuff right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this out of the way because I have a feeling this is gonna take me longer than I expect. Also try to do a little decluttering as I'm packing this. I can't do a ton because I just don't have a lot of time for it, but really obvious things that I just don't need, or like glues that are dried up, or things that are just truly garbage that have made it into this closet, I'm going to try to get rid of it. Again, we need to maximize the space in the pod, so I really can't be bringing stuff we don't need. So I'm going to try my best to declutter as much as I can out of this now so that it makes unpacking and moving a little bit easier. For example, this is our box of random manuals, things that come with things that we buy, appliances or toys or anything that we buy. It comes with like a little manual or guide. I stick it in this box, and I have stuff in here from appliances and things that we bought probably 10 years ago. So I should probably take this time to go through this and get rid of anything we don't have. I also needed to go through this and pull out any of the manuals that go with the appliances for our house because we need to leave those for the new buyers. So I needed to go through this anyway. And man, did we have a lot of stuff in here that we no longer own. It's kind of funny going through it now. you're gonna see here, I'm kind of struggling with what to fit in this box. I needed this really big box for my light box and a couple other things that just didn't fit in smaller ones. But then I kind of struggled with how to fill up this box without making it too heavy. So you're gonna see here, I kind of put a bunch of random stuff in here to end up filling it up, but trying not to make it too heavy. And that's sort of the struggle you have when you're packing, is again, finding that balance between packing everything properly and utilizing the space accordingly so that things don't get crushed, but also not making the boxes too heavy. And I found that struggle pretty much throughout the whole process. So you'll see I ended up filling it with blankets and pillows in the end. Some of them I may not actually end up keeping, but I just kind of needed to fill the box so that it didn't get crushed. Here we go again. What the heck am I gonna fill this box with? Sorry, I keep looking at the camera like a creeper. It's just with packing and being surrounded by all the boxes and packing materials, and you'll see in just a minute when I show you what the rest of the room looks like, it was kind of a disaster. I felt like I kept going off camera, so I keep looking at the camera to make sure that you guys can actually see what I'm doing. So sorry, I don't mean to be a little creepy when I keep looking at the camera. So that took a lot longer than I expected, a couple of hours actually, but this is the closet now. It's pretty much empty. That's my sewing machine. That is an air mattress that's actually going to be traveling with us, and just some plastic bins that we're just going to load up the way they are. When it is empty, the rest of my room is a disaster zone. Some of those IKEA bags I'm going to keep off for the day of moving because they're probably really good to load like our comforters and stuff in that we're going to use up until that last night. So I'll save those for them. And this is all of the boxes of everything that was in that closet. Goes all the way down. It's a lot more boxes than I was expecting, and there's quite a few of them that are heavy, but at some point in the next couple of days, I'm going to take all of those boxes and put them down in the living room with the rest of our stuff. I need to get some more packing paper because I'm almost out, and some more rolls of tape. I only have one more tape left. This is kind of the fun part about packing, going through stuff. I actually found some stuff that I bought for my daughter for her birthday that I forgot to give to her. So I might give those to her tonight if I need something to distract her, or maybe we'll save them for Christmas. I'm not really sure. So I actually have to run out to a doctor's appointment that I forgot about. So I'm going to finish up the packing when I get down. I'm going to bring all the boxes that are from here down into the living room, kind of our staging area. And then I'm going to finish packing up all the loose ends and odds and ends. And then that'll be 2 big areas of the house packed and ready for the pod next week. So after I get back home from the doctor's appointment and running errands, I didn't actually get any of the packing done. So this is actually day number 3. When I started filming this video, it really was only supposed to be a 2-day video, but then things take a lot longer than you expect and things come up, and I am still working during this time. So I was still fielding phone calls and emails and taking care of a lot of things for my clients. So this 2-day project actually turned into 3 days of packing and undecorating. So this is actually day number 3 when I'm trying to wrap up everything that I had on the agenda for this video. right, so this is what I got packed up so far. This is all the guest room stuff and all the stuff that was on those shelves and some stuff from the basement. I've cleaned up this room for the most part, got it fairly organized as I can. This is all trash and donation items. These are all of our empty boxes and all of our packing materials. So the next step is to actually take a quick break, get some work done, and then I'm gonna start taking all of the decor and pictures and stuff off the walls. So my plan of attack for the wall decor is to start upstairs and work my way downstairs. That way I can just work my way room by room, taking everything down. And then to help save time, I'm gonna be actually patching up all the holes as I go along as well. I've already got the step stool or ladder out. I'm already gonna be there. I'm up against the wall. I'm just going to spackle real quick while I'm there, and then that way everything will be dry, and then we just need to go through and sand and paint and touch up, right before closing for the new buyers. I just thought it was the easiest way to do it that way. And I'm sorry, throughout this process, the focus on my camera, I had the autofocus on and I didn't realize that. So several times throughout this part of the video, you'll see that the focus might go in and out a few times because I'm moving around a lot, going in and out of the frame. So I really apologize. I tried to edit as much of that out as possible, but if it does bother you at all, I am terribly sorry. You'll notice here that I actually have a piece of cardboard that I'm using. This is sort of my trick to minimize damage on the wall. As I'm using the hammer to remove the nails, I'm actually using the piece of cardboard as sort of a stop against the wall so that the hammer doesn't actually push through and cause any damage on the wall. I saw this online as some sort of a life hack thing. You'll notice too, as I'm taking stuff down, sometimes I'm patching holes where there were 3M strips or holes from not where I just took nails out, because you'll notice that Over the years, I've changed my decor, and sometimes I use new decor that just hides the old holes so I didn't fill them in before. Now that we're selling and somebody else is buying the house, I obviously need to fill in those holes. So if you see any of that and you're a little confused, that's why. And this picture was also really heavy and had anchors in the wall, so I definitely had to bring in a little bit of reinforcement because I wasn't really sure what to do about the anchors because they were sticking out a little bit. So Adam had to come in and help me kind of take care of those so we could patch up the wall as well. Taking all of the pictures off the walls is really when moving starts to feel real, because I feel like you start to remove a lot of the personality that you've put into the house, you know, all of the things that make the house really your home, and that's when it starts to feel real. Also, obviously, being surrounded by moving boxes doesn't, you know, help, but definitely removing the pictures is when it feels real. And you'll see here in a second, I'll hold up and show you the bowl. I carried a paper bowl, or you can do cup, anything along, you know, with me as I went through the house to collect all of my nails and screws. It helped making cleanup a lot easier. Okay, so this is everything I took off all the walls from all the different rooms in the house. It's like my home decor I threw up on my living room couch. Anyway, so that's pretty much it. I was taking off the walls. I left a few things. I can't really get to, where is it, that picture over there. And then I left like the mail stuff that's over there and a few other things, but this is the majority of it. Now I just have to wrap it and pack it up and put it away, and I'll be done with this part of the packing process. Thank you so much for watching this week's video. That concludes my 3 days of packing up the bulk of the house. This really feels like we've made some significant progress now. When I look around and the walls are starting to look empty, it's starting to get a little sad. But stay tuned because I still have several more rooms to do. I still have our master bedroom, my daughter's room. The office is actually going to be next. And if you want to follow us along on this journey as we prepare to get ready for this move down to Georgia, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell so you're notified every time I release new videos. We have our pod coming on Monday, so I'm going to get some footage of us loading up the pod. We're going to be doing it throughout the whole week. We also have to get everything out of our storage unit to put that into the pod, so we still have a lot to do as we get ready for this big move. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.